And hello, everybody. We are Sultans of String with special guest Marito Marques on Backstage. Just give it a couple of minutes. Get all the robots working to our favor. Beautiful. Well, hello, everybody. And I'm Chris McCool from Sultans of String, and welcome to Backstage, brought to you through the help of Ontario Arts Council. This series runs many Fridays at noon EST, broadcasting live from Burlington, Ontario. And that countdown song was with Kevin La Liberté over here on guitar, Drew Burston on the bass, and in just a moment, we'll get to chat with our special guest today, Marito Marques. Let us know in the chat where you're watching from. Also, it helps me know if this stream is actually working because I forgot to set up my laptop this morning. So I'm just assuming this is going out to the world. It looks like it's going out to the world. Let us know how it sounds, okay? We'd like to acknowledge and thank the many First Nations and the Métis, from the Anishinaabe to the Haudenosaunee to the Huron-Wendat to the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation, for allowing us to share their traditional lands on which we feel blessed to live, work, and play. And let us know in the chat where you're from while you're there. If you have any questions for any of us, including and especially Marito, that would be great. Louise Carter, great. Thank you for joining us here today. And don't forget, if you're watching on Facebook, hit that follow button. And if you're watching on YouTube, to ring the bell and subscribe so you find out about upcoming shows like this. But now to the real thing. Gary. So nice to see you. We're going to see you soon in Muskoka at Chautauqua. And Nicole, bonjour. So nice to have you here. Hailing from Portugal, Marito Marques is a Grammy, a Latin Grammy, and Juno contributing drummer and producer. He takes the sounds of the world into his soul to produce melodies that bring the audience together in an unparalleled unity. Now, he's from Portugal, but he's been living in Canada, I think, almost 10 years. He is doing so many things. We're going to talk all about them today. Please welcome to the Zoom room, Marito Marques.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here.
Oh, we've toured all over the place together with you as our percussionist and drummer, and it's always an honor. You're an amazing player.
Thank you.
And one thing that I'd like to talk about today, Marito, is your new album, A Pont, The Bridge. And I've known about your fusion music before, but this album you seem to be going back to your roots a little bit more. Here, let's put up a screenshot. This is the album. Beautiful cover, beautiful music. Tell us a little bit about this album and what inspired this this sound, which sounds very much like a bridge between very, very old Portuguese melodies, and contemporary aesthetics.
Yeah, I think you just mentioned most of what it is. It's those two worlds, and it's also the bridge between Canada and Portugal mainly. Even though this album is, focused more and inspired more on canto lentejano, traditional and a very old way of singing in the south of Portugal, that has a very Arab influenced way of singing, and it's all that bridge. Like when I moved here, I always felt like that love from the Portuguese music. But I guess because I've been away for so long, I've been feeling that more and more. So that desire of wanting to do something with my music, the music that the true music that it comes from me, because I've been surrounded by not just canto lentejano, that traditional music that I have mainly in this album, but the traditional Portuguese music. I'm from the mountains where we have all that, traditional melodies and lyrics. So it was just trying to bring that old music to 2022, basically.
Let's I want our viewers here to see and hear a little bit of this fantastic video you made, and then we're going to come back and talk more about it.
Mas a porta não posso ir. Tu és a flor mais bela. Da minha mão quero subir. Manjerico da janela.
Manjerico da janela, da minha mão quero subir. Eu queria falar com ela, mas à porta não posso ir. Mas à porta não posso ir. Tu és a flor mais bela, da minha mão quero subir. Manjerico da janela.
Like that video, that music, it just gives me chills. Yeah. It's so special. And I have so many questions about it. I was doing a little bit of reading about the genre Cante, which is listed in the UNESCO Intangible Cultural Heritage of Humanity. Now, I had never heard of that before, but do you know much about that? Like, is that something that a state or a country, like that they approach UNESCO to try and get?
Yeah, I don't know how that happened, but I just know that UNESCO recognizes it as being something extremely unique, that it's not happening in nowhere else in our planet, so that you can only find in Portugal, in Alentejo, which is the area of where they sing canto lentejano.
And it's often like farmers and mill workers and everyday people that get together and they sing, and they just feel like they need to sing.
If you go to a bar or a restaurant in Alentejo, all of a sudden you might have like 10, 20, 30, 40 people singing all of a sudden, out of the blue, just like singing canto lentejano. The walls start to shake and you might be crying because it's so powerful.
It is so powerful. And then that group of musicians and dancers around you. So how did you collect, like, is that an existing group that you brought in to collaborate with you?
Everyone that is on that video, they are either family or friends. So I know each one of them. They are from my town, And so I know every face. I know, like the older couple, they are my grandparents from
Yeah,
my parents,
beautiful.
from my dad's side. The younger couple, João and Marta, they're like two friends. João is like we went to kindergarten together.
Yeah.
So it's I wanted to do something that that meant something to me, not just to the rest of the world, but something that I would feel really connected, and hopefully that connection would would be it will go across to whoever is going to watch or listen to the music.
Do you think that creating this during the pandemic, was it something that like the pandemic almost made the desire for that reconnection even stronger?
No, for sure. But the project actually started before. I had the album almost done when the pandemic started. I was like, I had the album almost finished, and I was like, not the right time to release an album right now. And it was already hard before. So after the pandemic, I was like, oh my God. But then it made me focus on those videos because we did those during the pandemic. It was hard because, all the restrictions, as everyone knows. But, with all the effort and love and, from everyone in my town, we made it happen, and it was great. It was such a great experience.
It's such a beautiful thing. Now, I've known you for years as an amazing drummer, but also we discovered what an amazing kalimba player you are. So I was wondering if you would share some kalimba with us.
Sure. Yeah.
This is an instrument from Africa. And is it from Kenya or?
I mean, it's been. Some people say he started in south of Africa, but it's been spread everywhere in Africa and in Canada today.
Yeah. Well, and you are a modern artist, so I know you have it plugged into a bunch of pedals and stuff. So yeah, let's check this out.
I'm just gonna get myself some space here.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was a bit of a surprise for us when we saw his tech setup for his kalimba. He can plug it in and put it through loopers and sound effects, and it's kind of a rare, special thing. So here we are.
I'm ready.
Okay.
Nice.
Wow, so much fun. So, I mean, there's a lot to unpack there. I think we're going to have to do a whole other episode on kalimba effects. That your kalimba playing should be petitioned for the UNESCO Intangible Cultural Heritage of Humanity, I think. It's been really impressive to watch you develop all these different components and skills and things during the pandemic. You've got master classes that you offer on how to record drums to teach other people how to mic their own drum kit and do sessions at home, which I think is really cool. Your GMP studios, and you have other artists in as well. I'm curious. One thing is that so I noticed that you do cover tunes of other artists, where you're playing along with the artist album and playing the drums. And I was trying to figure out, so is that to show the joy of playing with that artist, or is it to show other drummers, hey, this is what you can do on this kind of song? Or is it kind of like, oh, well, maybe if Alicia Cara sees me playing along with her music, maybe she'll hire me for the next tour?
Yeah.
What's that all about?
I don't know. It's been a long time since I've done one of those, but I remember doing them. I think it was trying to be creative and trying to be develop my sound while, as a musician, you have moments where you have a lot of work, not so much work. And those videos happened when I didn't have much work, and I was like, I want to still, play as if I'm playing with artists, and why not recording it? And trying to, create different groove, different patterns from the original, not really copying, but I think it's more about you mentioned like showing what how different you can go with music that everyone knows in a certain way, but you're trying to see it and play it from a different perspective, and it's kind of a challenge for me, I think.
Oh, that's really cool. Have you ever had any of the artists that you've covered contact you and say, oh yeah, that was...
No, I think I only did like 2 or 3, but so yeah, it would be nice.
Well, if Alicia Cara is out there listening, go check out Marito Marques' YouTube channel. Let's play some music now with the kit here. There's a song that Drew wrote called Weather Update. It's super fun. You guys want to hit it?
Yeah, sounds good. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3.
Now, Marito, what kind of music did you grow up with? Were you listening to more traditional music or jazz, or how did you evolve into this incredible player you are now?
So I come from a family that I don't have any musicians in my family except from my grandfather from my mom's side. He used to play Portuguese guitar, a very specific, it's called the mountain Portuguese guitar or the mountain fado. But only for fun. I saw him playing like 4 or 5 times in my life. So that was the only reference musically. But I don't know. I listened to whatever it was on the radio. I was never exposed to, listen to this record, listen to this, artist, this drummer, this, Miles Davis or this or that. Never happened until I was like 14, 15. When I started listening to, first I started to listen more to prog rock, really. And then I went to school, and then I started to listen a little more of like jazz overall, and mostly jazz fusion, like Mahavishnu Orchestra and all that, that on that vein. But I think it was, a mix of everything, but a very slow, gradual transition into genres. And then I started to play a lot in Portugal with musicians from the PALOPs, which are the Portuguese ex-colonies like Angola, Mozambique, Cape Verde. I started to play with musicians from those countries, and I started to learn and feel that love from African music. It was a very it was by phases, I guess. Again, I was never introduced to my parents were like, okay, let's listen to this record. It never happened.
And I'm curious, how did you end up in Toronto, of all places?
Love. Yeah.
Nicole?
Yes, exactly. You got it. My wife, she also plays the violin. We met in Portugal through music, and she moved to Portugal. We lived there 1 year, and then she had to come back to finish teachers college. She did. And I was like, why not try in Canada? And I was doing pretty well in Portugal, like some world tours and all of that. But I was like, I want to, prove myself that, I can get out of my comfort zone and learn more. And I knew that Toronto had, such a great, like musically, the level is really high. And I knew that I would learn so much musically and also personally.
Yeah, amazing musicians here.
Yeah.
And we're very lucky to have you. And thanks to Nicole. I understand her class might be watching now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
so shout out to Nicole's class of students. It must be really fun to play with your wife, right? Like I know that she recorded violins on your album.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds great. Well, let's play another tune. This is a tune written by Kevin called Lisbon. And it goes a little something like this. And if you're watching, like to clap along, you can try this. All right, beautiful. Well, I guess we're almost wrapping up here, but geez, I want to say thanks to all of you for tuning in. And next week we've got Miriam Toller coming to join us. She's going to be playing Qanun, actually, a beautiful string instrument. And then after that, we've got Nagme Farahman, Amelie Zhu, Walid Abdul Hamid, Mark Marilanen. Next bunch of Fridays. Really looking forward to it. And June 4th in Toronto, we're doing an actual live show in Toronto. It's so exciting. It's been, since 2019 since we played live in Toronto. That's part of a group, a series called Acoustic Harvest in the East End. And we're going to be performing live with Saskia Tompkins, who is a real treat. She plays the nyckelharpa, very interesting old Swedish instrument. Be sure to follow Marito, and we have his link in the links in the thing, the posts. Okay, more coffee over here. And you guys want to play a little bit of extra music, and I'm going to thank a few people here. Thank you to, of course, Marito, and to all of our engineer friends and our production team. All right, that sounds good. Let's see if I can plug Marito's website into the comments. No, I can't. Love you too, Nicole. Thanks to our PR team, Lisa, Christine, Tanya, Eric, and thanks so much to everyone who helped put this technology together, Guillermo and John Bailey. And thank you to our family for all their support. And support Marito, buy his music, amplify his voice. Check out his website, he gives lessons online. How cool is that? All right, love to all of you. Look forward to seeing you again soon. We'll see you next Friday.